Hello my friends, we're back in Luminar Neo and today we're talking contrast. Pretty much every slider you touch in Luminar Neo it will affect contrast in one way or another, either luminance contrast or color contrast. For example, if I want to get more details into the sky here, I would go to super contrast and increase the highlight contrast. If I want to get even more detail and darken it, I'll move the slider to the right, the highlight balance. The tool you use really depends on the image you're using. In this one, I can go to shadow contrast and really darken the very darks of the image. I can even add a little bit of mid-tone contrast. And there is our image before and after. If I want to take it even further, I would go to color harmony. I'll go into the highlights and I will add some red and yellow to give it that sunset look. And now this is our image before and after. The super contrast tool works really well in skin tones as well. For example, this lady, her face is a little bit too bright. So I will go and edit, go super contrast and just take the highlight contrast to the right. And it brings back some of those highlights. This is the before and after. Before and after. There are many other tools that you can use contrast for. I'm just going to take you to a few of my favorites. In this image, for example, I would use blending modes to change the contrast. The way I would do that, I have this image, I'll go to layers, go on plus, and I will load another of the same image. Now I have two layers, the same image. This is the first layer, the original, this is the second layer. Same photo. If I go to blending mode and change the blending mode to one of these three over here, overlay, soft light, or hard light, let's go with overlay. It creates a lot more contrast, luminance contrast and color contrast. If you can see, this is the before and after. Before and after. If it's too much, you can reduce the opacity. You can also change to soft light and that will give you a little bit less of an effect. Or you can change it to hard light. I am going to keep it an overlay because overlay, it's a little bit stronger one and I want you to really see it. If I don't want to get the color contrast and I only want to get luminance contrast, what I can do is I can go into the color dialog and I can take the saturation down. And now we're only getting luminance contrast. We don't mess with the saturation. You can increase the saturation, you can take it down and even desaturate it a little bit. So this is how I will use layer and blending mode to apply contrast. We'll go to a different image. We'll use this image. And for this image, I would like to use curves. We did a whole episode on curves. If you did not see that, look down. I think I posted yesterday. Curves in develop module. And I will go to the white dot and put a little slight S curve. And that just gives me more contrast. Now, this is the before and after. If I want color contrast with the tone curves, I will go into the reds and do the same S curve. I'll go into the greens, do the same exact S curves, and the blue channel. And I'll do that the same way. And now, before and after. Before and after. Now I'm getting luminance contrast and color contrast. If it's too much, I can turn the mask. I can take the strength to maybe 50% and I'll paint it over. And now I have less impact. There you go. Before and after. How else can we do contrast? Well, let's see. Let's choose a different image, maybe a portrait. I am going to choose this one. Another way you can affect contrast is by using the color panel and go into the luminance, into the HSL. For this one, since it's a portrait, always when I have a portrait, I like to raise the oranges a little bit, just to brighten the face. In this case, his hair too, because his hair is pretty yellow. And then I will turn the greens, the blues, the cyans, purples, those down. And now I am getting contrast, color contrast, and luminance contrast. I can also go into saturation and maybe saturate the blues a little bit more. Cyans, the greens. I don't want to saturate the oranges too much and the yellows because then I'll mess around to the skin tones too much and I don't want to make it look unnatural. This is the before and after. Before and after. Now we made the face glow, we brighten up, the hair, it's nice. The sweater, it's more blue and darker, and that's how we use HSL to mess with contrast. Let's see. If I choose this photo over here, and I want to only use one slider, I would probably use Enhance. It seems to be doing kind of everything at once. That's saturation and luminance, contrast, all at once. Before and after. Before and after. As I said before, there's many ways to mess with contrast. You just have to choose the right tool for your image. And let's do one last example, and we'll take this photo over here. I will go to Edits, and I will go to my super contrast and recover some of those details in the sky. Now when I do this, see my blues are going all crazy and the cyans are like super saturated. So I'll have to go into my color and desaturate the greens, cyans, blues, to make it more of a more natural color. Now I can also increase the oranges a little bit. And let's see, this is our before and after. Let's see the whole image before and after, before and after. And of course, we can go to the color harmony, and in the highlights, we can add a little bit of that orangey tones. Okay, now our highlights are maybe a little bit too bright again. This is before and after. So we can go to develop, go into the curves, the luminance, and just take down the whole image a little bit. Let's see, more like that. Maybe keep the shadows so it doesn't get too dark. And there you have it. This is our before and after. Before and after. I hope this was helpful and you learned a couple of things about contrast. My name is Skyler Ewing, and I will see you next time.